I expect these vendors to really start investing and competing with the pure play vendors that are out there to make 2024 a really exciting place if you're an IT operations manager.
Hello, I'm Scott Sinclair, Practice Director with the Enterprise Strategy Group, and it's 2024, which means it's predictions time. I'm joined by my colleague, Jon Brown, and we're going to get into what's new, what's coming, and what's on tap for the coming year in IT operations. Jon, I really want to get your insights. Let's kick it off. So, what's new in IT operations? What's new in observability? And you can't say GenAI, everything else.
Oh
Go
no, Scott, you're tying a hand behind my back. But let's see what we can do. There's a lot that's happening in IT operations management based on what we saw in 2023 that looks like it's going to come to fruition in 2024. Saying this without AI. Okay, here's what I expect
I'm
to
obviously
happen.
just kidding. If you got to go AI, you got to do it. But go on.
I may have to mention it once or twice, but let's see how we do. I mean, the first thing that I expect to see in 2024 is that the major infrastructure vendors, the HPEs, the Dells, the IBM, and even Cisco to a certain extent, are going to make a very serious splash in observability and AIOps. All of these companies invested heavily last year in beefing up their capabilities. We had HPE with the OpsRamp acquisition, really beefing up their ability to do cross-platform management. We saw Dell acquire MoogSoft, which was a bold, step into AI ops and really a declaration that infrastructure vendors are in here for real. Not just worrying about managing their own things, but solving IT management problems. IBM has always been ahead of the game here. They did an acquisition to flesh out their offerings that way, and then Cisco acquiring Splunk. Cisco, I lump them into this category of, infrastructure providers, but they've done a great job, over the last 10, 15, 20 years investing in software and making IT operations management a big part of what they do. And there was nothing bolder than, acquiring Splunk, big dog in the space, and saying, no, we're in here for real. I expect these vendors to really start investing and competing with the pure play vendors that are out there to make 2024 a really exciting place if you're an IT operations manager trying to solve observability. You've got more choices, and they all got better.
All right, I love this because I hadn't put together the dots or connected the dots on this as well as you have, but I love where you're going in this space because what I see from my perspective is the way we think about application environments, the way we think about infrastructure is really evolving, and the need for observability to better understand what's happening across these distributed multi-hybrid cloud environments is so crucial. And so, when you connected the dots between the various acquisitions this year, it really put in perspective, the strategy of where people are headed. So I love this one. Okay, what's next, Jon?
So the next thing is really the change that I'm expecting to see when it comes to sustainability. I'm expecting an evolution of sustainability to go from sustainability to operational sustainability. Up until now, we have been focused on, hey, procurement, doing business with good suppliers, making sure all of their ESG initiatives were in a row. But we haven't been able to do so much when it comes to the day-to-day operational decision making of where to run a workload, what time should we run this workload for optimal sustainability outcomes. There's now enough data. There's new technology advancements in eBPF, which make more data available, and there are better data sources that can give us down to the hour the power that we're using, what that mix is, what the carbon footprint is, and allow us to compare across different power suppliers, which might serve different colos that we're using to make a decision about operations and that impact on sustainability and carbon. So, the fact that there's more granular and more timely information being made available is going to enable environmental sustainability.
I'm just going to comment because you hit on two additional predictions there, but I love how they come together because it really talks about where we are in terms of IT operations and management and observability and our ability to monitor what's going on and make decisions based on data. And so when we think about this hybrid multi-cloud environment, we've gotten pretty good at understanding how to optimize for cost. We've gotten pretty good at optimizing for performance and availability. I think we're going to continue to see that evolve and mature over the coming year. But I love the integration of, hey, look, we can get smarter on energy usage and what this looks like. And that being a major factor in terms of how organizations architect their environment and also make sure how they deploy and run and migrate. Love all of this. Jon, thank you so much for your insights. I'm excited to see what takes place in 2024. A lot on tap. We're going to see, according to you, we're going to see more focus on observability from the big infrastructure providers, and we're going to see a much bigger focus around sustainability and operationalizing it moving forward. So, Jon, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me, Scott. AI.
All right. Thanks for watching.